Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this grammar series of conditional sentences, starting with the first session, conditional sentences, type 1. Here we are going to form conditional sentences, type 1, with the present tense and the modal will. Before we start, please click on the link you see here that is attached in the platform. When you see the screen, choose the interactive mode and then press start. The structure of the first conditional is as follows in this example. If I stay home, I will not spread the illness. And as you can see at the first part of this sentence, the tense that is used is the present simple, while in the second part, in I will not spread the illness, it's the future simple. We can reorder the sentence as follows. I will not spread the illness if I stay home. So I can begin the sentence with the future simple, then I'll use the present simple. The first conditional is used to talk about possible situations and their consequences in the future. So we use the present simple with the F clause, whether it's at the beginning of the sentence or at the end. And I use the future simple in the main clause or the other part of the conditional sentence, whether it's at the beginning or at the end. We use it for predicting a likely result in the future. For example, if it rains, we will cancel the trip. Or a possible situation in the future, you will pass the exam if you study. Remember, in the present simple, we add s or es, or sometimes we change the y into I and add es to the verb when the subject is singular or third person singular subject. In the negative form, we use the auxiliary verb do with s, so it becomes does and carries the negative particle not to form doesn't. Of course, taking the agreement from the verb, leaving it in the base form. In the interrogative form, we use does, followed by the subject and then the verb. When the subject is plural, it's followed by the present simple form of the verb in the affirmative form, while in the negative form, we use the auxiliary do that carries the particle not to form don't. And for the interrogative, we switch the places between the auxiliary verb and the subject to make the word order do plus the subject followed by the verb. While in the future, in the affirmative structure, the subject is followed by the modal verb will, followed by the base form of the verb. In the negative, the modal carries the negative particle forming will not or won't, followed by the base form of the verb, and in the interrogative or the question form, we switch the places between the modal verb and the subject. It's important to remember that we need to put a comma after the F clause when it comes at the beginning of the sentence. Look at these two examples. You will pass the exam if you study. Here in the first one, if you study is at the end of the sentence. While in the second sentence, if you study followed by a comma, you will pass the exam. Here we add the comma because the F clause comes at the beginning of the sentence. Remember, we capitalize the initial letters in the sentences and we add the full stop at the end of the sentences. Now, in order to sum up all the ideas here, let's take the following examples for first conditional sentences. If I study, I will ace my exams. This is an affirmative sentence in both the F clause and the main clause. While in the negative, it's as follows. If I don't study, I won't ace my exams. In the interrogative form, if I study, will I ace my exams? Moving to the third person singular subject, if he studies, he will ace his exams. In the negative, if he doesn't study, he won't ace his exams. If he studies, will he ace his exams? Now let's practice. Do the following exercises to use the correct form of the verb in brackets, and then please send your answers to your teacher. Remember, if you keep a distance of 2 meters, it will slow down the spread of the disease. What else can we do to stop the spread of coronavirus? Use the first conditional or conditionals type 1 with your suggestions and then send the answers to your teacher. If you change, everything will change for you. That's all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.